real hard, but he said we're Asiatics. We're from the Moors. We're Asiatic, the Asiatic black man, right? That sound familiar? The Asiatic black man in America. You know, that type of thing, right? So Noble Ali was pushing all of this, right? Our Moorish ancestry, right? The Moors. Some of the old timers actually have pictures. I'm talking about the old pioneers. Noble Ali, Elijah Muhammad, Muhammad Sadiq, Ahmadiyas, the Ahmadiyya movement, the Ahmadiyas. Muhammad Sadiq, right? And it is said for Muhammad on the stage, on the platform, at a Marcus Garvey rally. Noble Ali talked about how, you know, how he was influenced by Garvey. All right? And Noble Ali basically was saying that for those of you who followed Marcus Garvey, you should follow me now. Right? Noble Ali was pushing the Moorish Science Temple of Islam. Nationality cards, you know, you had to have, and then there was questions. You remember how the nation had the actual facts? See, the nation don't like to talk about that they came from Noble Ali. They don't like talking about that. No, Elijah Muhammad, no. But Elijah Muhammad was actually in Noble Ali's organization. He was in his organization, right? And the old timers say Fard Muhammad too. They were in the organization. So now here's Garvey. Marcus Garvey comes on the scene. I'm going to talk to him, I'll talk about him simultaneously. Marcus Garvey goes to England, brothers and sisters, and that's where Marcus Garvey gets his education on Africa. Marcus Garvey hooks up with Dusay Muhammad Ali. Dusay Muhammad Ali wrote a book called The Land of the Pharaohs. Some of you may have read it. Dusay Muhammad Ali was a Sudanese who lived in Egypt, who was in London organizing. Dusay Muhammad Ali had a perspective of Africa, seeing Africa united. Dusay Muhammad Ali also had a perspective of global Islam and using global Islam as a way to fight against Western colonialism. When Marcus Garvey got to London, Marcus Garvey hooked up with Dusay Muhammad Ali. I mean, he hooked up with him. I mean, Dusay Muhammad Ali gave him the game on Africa, people to meet. When Marcus Garvey was in London, not only did he hook up with Dusay Muhammad Ali, but Marcus Garvey hooked up with some leaders from West Africa. That's Muslim. Robert Hill talks about it in his book. He hooks up with leaders, Muslims from West Africa. He hooks up with Muslims. Remember, London is like a cosmopolitan type of city. You have people from all over the British Empire there. So he's hooking up with Muslims from India. He's hooking up with Muslims from Africa. He's hooking up, of course, with Dusay Muhammad Ali. Marcus Garvey got his education about Africa in London while studying under Dusay Muhammad Ali. He wrote on Dusay Muhammad Ali's, he wrote in his magazine. The old-time Garveyites would talk about, from New York, would talk about how Marcus Garvey was taught by a Muslim. That Garvey was taught by a Muslim. All right? And there's no coincidence that Garvey came back here talking about one God, one aim, one destiny. Why a statement on Tawheed? One God, one aim, one destiny. Dusay Muhammad Ali comes to the United States. Dusay Muhammad Ali not only comes to the United States, but he hooks up with Marcus Garvey here. Dusay Muhammad Ali is now writing for the Negro World, Marcus Garvey newspaper. Dusay Muhammad Ali is now in charge of putting in news from around the world. And Dusay Muhammad Ali is talking about movements that's taking place in Africa. And Dusay Muhammad Ali is talking about the Islamic movement all around the world that's fighting against Western imperialism. This is in the Negro world. Statements are made about Marcus Garvey. Statements are made about Marcus Garvey. If I can share a couple of them with you real quick, inshallah. Now check this out. The journalist from the Negro world compared Garvey to the Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. Quote, this is from the Negro world. The Prophet of Allah, concentrating his inexhaustible incandescent energy on the spiritual material liberation of his people and the herald of the new dawn, Garvey stressing with equal zeal the material spiritual redemption of his race. This is in the Negro world, the Prophet Muhammad. A statement made. Check this out. March 1917 editorial in Champion magazine affirmed, the Negro is crying for a Muhammad to come forth and give him the Quran of economic and intellectual welfare. Where is he? Where is he? This is coming out of the publication of Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey publication. That's why we were talking about in 1922, a resolution. Let's make the official religion of the UNIA Islam, Mohammedanism. Marcus Garvey didn't move on it. Muhammad Sadiq of the Ahmadiyya movement comes to Chicago, the 1920s, 1921. He comes to Chicago, and the Ahmadiyya movement is now getting converts, African American converts. It is said that in the Garvey papers that Muhammad Sadiq of the Ahmadiyya movement converted at least 40 members from the Garvey organization, Garveyites. Now the Ahmadiyya movement has an interesting history. Ghulam Ahmed, who in India begins to preach about Islam. He sees how the Christians are trying to get the Muslims to convert to Christianity. Ghulam Ahmed now, he begins writing some pamphlets, materials, articles, books on Islam, the basic Islam, and he's having a serious effect, major effect, right? And then after a while, Ghulam Ahmed kind of changes up a little bit. He then says that he's the Messiah. He's the Messiah that the Christians are waiting for, the Mahdi that the Muslims are waiting for. Oh boy. So then he also takes jihad and struggle out of Islam. He starts talking about jihad of words.